From the Ministry of the Presidency in Georgetown, this is This Week with the President.
Welcome to another edition of This Week with the President, a weekly news magazine which provides you with an in-depth look at the policies, programs, and work of Guyana's President. I'm your host, Benita Mishra. In the highlights this week, 54 women awarded on International Women's Day, Ministerial Task Force to create plan of action to address El Nino, and Guy Expo 2016 launch. Stay with us. On March 8th, countries around the world observed International Women's Day. It is a day that was designated by the United Nations to shed light on the issues that affect women globally and to celebrate womanhood, reflecting on the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements that women around the world have achieved to date. The President attended an International Women's Day forum organized by the Ministry of Social Protection, where he pledged his government's commitment to ensuring that laws put in place to effect gender equality are strictly enforced and to take action to ensure that Guyanese women are further empowered.
We totally endorse the theme of this year's observances, Planet 50-50 by 2030. We pledge to work assiduously at the local, regional, national, and international levels to achieve this objective over the next 14 years. Guyana reasserts its total commitment to achieving the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. These include, of course, Goal 5, which intends to, and I quote, achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls.
While Guyana has made strides with respect to gender equality, there are still barriers that have to be broken and threats to women's safety and well-being that have to be addressed.
Guyana, at the Global Leaders Meeting on Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment, which took place at the United Nations General Assembly in September 2015, last year, we noted the strides that we had made in achieving internationally agreed upon goals on gender equality and empowerment. At that meeting, on behalf of Guyana, I reaffirmed our commitment to build a country in which women and girls can expect to live in safety, to be protected from abuse, such as trafficking in persons and domestic violence and workplace hazards. I intend to honor that commitment. Guyana intends to achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. Our ability to do this depends on our ability to dismantle the structures which oppress and marginalize women today. These structures include a societal culture that is biased against women.
In Guyana, women are empowered to fully participate in every aspect of national life, including in the political decision-making process. But even with this accomplishment, there is still much more to be done to level the playing field between women and their male counterparts.
Our respective governments have made progress, but many more initiatives, policies, and programs need to be embraced and implemented to narrow the gap of gender inequality and to realize new heights of social, cultural, economic, and political cohesion and inclusion.
The highlight of the forum was an award ceremony during which 54 Guyanese women were recognized for their outstanding contribution in the fields of community and regional development.
As I said to somebody who spoke with me a little earlier, I feel honored. Having labored in the field for women's organizations and women's development for more than 40 years, and to be recognized in this, the 50th year of our anniversary of the independence, I feel good. I have worked, I have toiled, I never gave up, and I'm glad that I've been recognized.
I feel honored this morning to be part of this program, and I want to say thank you to the President, to the Minister who is solely responsible for this. This doesn't happen very often. The only way people are being acknowledged for whatever they have done in life and the service they have given to people is at the time of death, their funeral day. So I feel extremely happy for this.
And I feel appreciated. I feel good.
How long have you been doing this?
I worked since I was 14, and I'm still working with education. I never expected to know that people have recognized, some groups recognized what I was doing, recognized what I'm worth, because so many times we as women do not recognize our worth.
50 years, Guyana means business promoting enterprise, driving productivity. That is the theme of this year's Guy Expo, an event that is designated to showcase the innovativeness and entrepreneurial spirit of Guyana's business community. Guy Expo 2016 is scheduled for May 12th. President Granger, in his address at the opening, held at the Sophia Exhibition Center, said that Guyana's economy must evolve from its dependency on exporting raw materials to agro-processing. He called on the private sector to take the lead in this process.
We have to become innovative. Our economy is essentially and fundamentally unchanged. And over the last 100 years, we have not really created a new economy. Independence or no economy, or no independence. Our economy is still based on the exportation of raw materials. And what we see today, and what the world is seeing, is that when China sneezes, the world catches a cold. And if demand for raw bauxite, demand for raw timber falls in China, if demand for gold falls, we will see the problems that we have faced for 100 years of producing raw materials, which demand on foreign markets for sales. So we need to be innovative.
The head of state spoke of the importance of proper infrastructure as the country looks towards value-added production as a driver for growth and development. Road links, stelling, and aerodromes are also vital to open up Guyana's hinterland and encourage investment.
We have to get a road from Linden to Lethem, a highway. We just can't keep dodging the issue. We've been talking about it for 35 years. And unless we open up the country with infrastructure, we've been talking about Upper Mazaruni Road Project. We've talked about the road from Linden to Aichuni, from Aichuni to Kukwani. Unless we build infrastructure in this country, we'll not be able to develop, we'll not be able to get to the real wealth of our country.
According to the Minister of Business, Dominic Gaskin, Guy Expo is well aligned with the objectives of his ministry, as well as the economic development objectives of the government. This year, Guy Expo will focus heavily on the development of micro and small enterprises.
This level of enterprise accounts for almost 30% of our country's GDP and employs tens of thousands of people. Many of these businesses have the capacity to develop beyond the small business level. And Guy Expo presents opportunities for this kind of growth. Even for small businesses with lower growth potential, Guy Expo provides opportunities for income generation due to the sheer volume of persons attending the event. This year, we look forward to a particularly large Guy Expo, and therefore the opportunities for earnings for small businesses and even the larger businesses participating is, of course, greatly increased.
An estimated 500 exhibitors are showcasing their goods and services at this year's event, which is anticipated to be even bigger than previous expos, since a large number of overseas visitors will be in Guyana for the 50th Independence Anniversary celebrations. It has become the gift that keeps on giving, from 3 Bs to now 5 Bs, boats, buses, bicycles, plus breakfast and books. Since its genesis to date, a total of 9 school buses, 6 boats, and over 400 bicycles have been distributed across the country, all in an effort to promote equal access to education. Children from Bartica Region 7 are the most recent beneficiaries of this program. A 50-seater bus donated by businessman Mr. Nizam Kasim and 30 bicycles donated by Dinar Trading were handed over to the region to benefit school children as far as 5 miles Bartica.
Education, next to food, water, housing, and clothing, is the best thing you can put into a child. And it's my mission to ensure that every single child goes to school. That's a personal vow that I took. I've been all around this country. I've seen barefoot children at Parishara and Awariwa now. I've seen children paddling to school in the Pomeroon and Akwini River. How could they concentrate on their studies if they have to paddle an hour and a half to get to school and an hour and a half to get back? And I've taken a personal vow to ensure that every Guyanese child goes to school.
The head of state said that much of what divides society is the lack of access and opportunities that many communities still face to educate their children. This, he said, must be corrected at all costs, and it is one of the primary goals of the 5B's program.
Education is the foundation of equality. One of the reasons there's so much poverty is because there's so much inequality. And once the child of a rich man and the child of a poor man or woman have the same education, they then have a chance to be equal. And with that equality, you have a better opportunity at employment and making sure that you have a good life.
The program is one of many interventions that the government is implementing to reduce the alarmingly high school dropout rate and improving academic performance.
I think equal access is something that we have been denied in our region. Especially, it was heartrending to me as a former teacher that students have such a great struggle in getting to school, and when they're actually there, the travel is expensive on them in terms of energy. So for me, having this initiative means that each child has an opportunity to get what is fundamentally a right that they have.
And I can say that the bus will be very beneficial for all students. Because I'm a teacher, I can say so. It will be very good for all the children that are living out of the district in Bartica, like by the Rabo and in the line. So I can say the president is on the move for doing great things for our community.
While in the region, the president conducted a fact-finding tour at the Mazaruni Penal Settlement as the government continues to explore its options for medium and long-term solutions to the challenges facing the Guyana Prison Service, particularly the Camp Street facility, which recently saw one of the worst prison riots.
Our presence here today is not just a gut reaction. It is a plan to ensure that there's a long-term strategy for ensuring that the Guyana Prison Service fulfills its mandate. We have to build a system in which persons who enter this service as inmates would enjoy the best opportunities for rehabilitation, and those who are incorrigible or recidivists would be prevented from bringing harm to society.
Prison officers and other administrative staff were also given the opportunity to air their concerns with President Granger and Ministers Joseph Harmon and Camarade Ramjatan. The president assured the staff that the government will do its utmost to ensure that their matters, particularly those that relate to their personal welfare and that of their families, are addressed in line with what obtains within the other services, which falls under the remit of the Ministry of Public Security. During the course of the week, the president led ministerial teams to Mabaruma Region 1 and Rose Hall Quarantine in a community outreach to engage citizens at the grassroots level on issues that are affecting their communities. Mabaruma is earmarked for township, and the president said that while central government will ensure that the foundation is laid for economic development, there must be strong governance at the municipal level.
We want to see strong regions. We want to see businessmen coming in from Trinidad and Barbados and Suriname flying into your aerodrome here an international airport at Mabaruma, making deals to buy your produce. We want to see a sports stadium with some of your youngsters playing football, cricket at night. We want to see highways. We want you to be able to drive from here to Port Kaichuma, from Port Kaichuma to the Maruka, linking up this whole country. I have a dream too, that one of these days you and your children will get in a car right here in the Maruka and drive all the way to Achiwib. Some of you never see Achiwib yet. But we cannot develop this country without infrastructure, running north to south and east to west. This is what I dream about Mabaruma, that you should be a powerful capital, not only with people and schools, but also with all of the facilities, medical facilities, education facilities. I want to see you with the resources to develop your children, to develop your industries.
With local government elections mere days away, the President informed citizens that regardless of which political party a person supports, all citizens have the right to sit at the table to make decisions that are best for the development of their communities.
But the second level of government is the regional level. But you all here at the foundation, the basic level of government, local government, municipal government. And this is where your apprenticeship starts. This is where true government starts. People from different walks of life sitting around the table.
Local government elections were last held in Guyana in 1994. And now we'll take a look inside the President's diary. In light of the ongoing El Niño phenomena, President David Granger has instructed that a ministerial task force be set up under the leadership of the Ministry of Agriculture to create an action plan that focuses on immediate relief for affected communities. The task force will include key agencies and will also focus on the medium and long-term plans, including the drilling of additional wells and increased water harvesting when the rainy season returns. On Monday, the President joined the Hindu community at the Guyana Shivastram Sangha at Covenjon, East Coast, Demerara for Mahashivratri observances.
We live in a country where we enjoy freedom to practice our religion and our beliefs. We live in a country where that freedom binds us together, doesn't drive us apart. It teaches us respect for each other, and it helps to breed social cohesion and social harmony despite our differences.
The President also attended the ordination and consecration ceremony of Reverend Father Charles Alexander Davidson to the office and work of the Bishop of the Diocese of Guyana. On Monday, March 9th, the President accredited His Excellency John Philbeam as the new non-resident High Commissioner of the Commonwealth of Australia to Guyana. During the course of the week, the President met with Halim Majid, who has been appointed to head Guyana's diplomatic mission in Cuba, Germany's ambassador to Guyana, His Excellency Lutz Hermann Jorgens, Executive Director of the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, Ronald Jackson, and representatives of the Zakat House of Kuwait, Adel K.S. Algeri, and Mr. M.H. Ali Fahad. That brings us to the end of this week's program. Thank you for joining me. For regular updates on the Ministry of the Presidency, go to our website www.motp.gov.gy. Like our Facebook page, Ministry of the Presidency. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at MOTP Guyana. Do have a safe and productive rest of the week. Goodbye.